Hi everyone, Bob Hamel here, back at my house. Time to do another show, all about flavors, where we like to let the natural flavor profiles of the food come out through the cooking process. So I don't like to use salt. I don't like to use anything that forces the flavor to come out. I just don't like salt, and except for steak, that's the only thing that I will put salt on in a preparation is if I'm doing a steak on the grill, which we're going to do this summer. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so what we're doing today is another classic soup and sandwich. And when you say soup and sandwich, immediately what comes to mind, huh? Yeah, you're right. It's tomato soup and a grilled cheese. I like to do a grilled cheese in a panini press. So I use 3 or 4 different kinds of cheeses, put a little pesto in there, a little parsley. I've got cheddar, brie, and a mozzarella mix. We're going to use in that. And for the tomato soup, very, very basic ingredients. I've got some half and half and some tomatoes these were fresh cooked tomatoes that I blanched, seeded, peeled, and we're just going to put this in the pot, bring it up to temperature, add the cream, a little pepper, and then we're going to use the immersion blender. I'm going to put this on high because I want the temperature to come up quickly to get it unfrozen. So we'll do 40 pounds of tomatoes. I'll blanch them, take the skin off, take the seeds out, and then just throw it in a pot, let it cook down for about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and this is what we get. It's just all tomato flavor. So, sometimes with things like canned tomatoes, you can taste that aluminum flavor. It's very hard to get it out of the product once it's been put in there. So that's why we just basically stew our own tomatoes because we like it. So anyways, here we go. Let's see what we got here. This is not breaking up yet, but it will. I'm going to leave it covered, so that'll bring the temperature up rather quickly. I've got it on high, so as most people know me, I cook on 2 temperatures, low and high. I don't do anything in the middle until I have to. So let's give this a minute to come up to temperature, and then we'll start doing the rest of the prep. This is a very, very quick prep. As a matter of fact, the thing that's going to probably take the most time is putting together the sandwich and pressing it, which I have here. Here's my panini press, which is really cool. It's just an electric. It'll take one sandwich, put the sandwich in, cover it, put it down, and this cover will start out about here, but it'll work its way down, and the bread it'll compress it. It's like some of the best things that you can do for compression is like a Cuban sandwich with ham and pork and Swiss and mustard. Oh, so good. Anyways, that'll be another show. We'll do that some other time. All right, so we'll get multiple uses out of this Hamilton Beach presser, panini press. All right, so this is steaming, coming up. It'll be a couple minutes, and we'll be back. Okay, so the tomato product, which is going to become tomato soup, is coming up to temperature. Let's take a look. It's beginning to simmer. It's beginning to break up a little bit, which is good. I think at this point, it would behoove us to probably add some cream to, well, half and half, or milk, or cream, whichever you prefer. We have half and half. Just going to add a bit, maybe add some more. This is just to round out the flavor a little bit, because tomatoes tend to be very, very very, very acidic. So what we're getting here is a little breakage, which I wasn't expecting. but that should be okay. I'm going to get my immersion blender, and we're going to try and immersion this and see if we can fix it. Okay, I got my immersion blender. I've got my temperature down to low. I want to break this up anyways. I've got the speed on low on the blender. You could do this in a food processor if you wanted. I just like the motorboat. And what I'm doing is I'm breaking up the big pieces of the tomato. I want to get this as uniform as possible. You can see the tomato kind of sticks to the sides. Get that off. We'll keep doing this for a bit. Yeah, so that cream, half and half, is beginning to coalesce with the tomato. So we're going to add a little more. Yeah, that's beginning to look pretty good. Let's hold that for a second. Give it a couple things of pepper. All right, I think that is the right consistency. Get the right pieces, and that's looking good to go. Okay, so I'm going to leave this on low. I'm going to cover it up again just to keep the temperature going. And now let's switch over here and start doing the panini. This panini press heats up real fast. It'll come up to temperature really, really quickly, and so I'm actually gonna unplug it and then come back to it because I want to assemble this first. There we go. All right, so I've just got wheat bread. I need a knife. Okay, I'm going to use some pesto. I'm going to put pesto on both sides of the bread. This is pesto that we made up of basil, pine nuts, or I think it was pine nuts. Yeah, I think it was pine nuts. Traditional Parmesan cheese, olive oil, pine nuts, and basil, done up in a food processor. It may not be pine nuts because I haven't had any of those in a while. So it may be almonds, which works just as well. So let's get some of this on here. You don't want a lot because it will overpower, it will dominate the flavor profile. But we're going to get a little bit, just get it out to the edges. So you get a good little bit on for each one. There we go, get on there. If your pesto dries out, which it will do if you store it for a long time, the oil will pretty much evaporate. So what you can do as a little fix is to just add some more oil to it and mix it up, and then you've got your pesto again. Almost like a sauce versus this being a spread. All right, that's pretty good. All right, now I've got 3 kinds of cheese. I'm going to do a layer of brie. Pardon my hands, but that's how I cook. Okay, I got 5 pieces of brie on each. I have a few pieces of cheddar. I'm going to do, this is a mozzarella mix. I want to get this in there, in the middle. What's mozzarella going to do? Well, other than being downright delicious, it's going to give you that ooey gooey factor. Now let's go with our cheddar. Five pieces. Guess the ratios were pretty good. Now do a quick flip. That way. There we go. So this is coming up to temperature real fast. I'm going to get a bigger one so I can do two at once next time. Oops, hey, get back in there. So we're going to press it down. In this case right now, it's going to come down slowly. Okay, just leave it like that, and it should probably take about a minute to cook. But what you're going to get is you're going to get the grill marks on both sides, top and bottom. The cheese will get nice and melty in the middle, and you can basically look at it and see that it's working. It's coming up to temperature. It may steam up, so be very careful. In fact, quite often it will steam up. So let's let this do its magic, and we'll be back in a second. All right, see you then. Okay, I can hear it bubbling. I can see it. Remember what I said about the steam? Be careful. Look at that. Look at that. That is coming along pretty good. Let's check the bottom. Yep, that's looking good. I think this one's ready to go. So I'm going to take this off. I'm going to put the next one on. Now this shouldn't take too long to cook up because now the panini press is nice and hot. This should maybe take about half that amount of time. So let's start getting ready to plate up. I've got my plates, and I got my bowls. Let's take a look at this. Okay. What are we going to do? We're going to do some soup. All right? Oh, yeah. It's got nice color, nice consistency. Here we go. You can see a little bit of that pesto coming through. So we'll set it up like that. And there you have it. That's soup and sandwich. All right. So here we are, Bob Hamel, all about the flavor. You guys have a good day, and we'll see you next time. Take care.